new episode of Hugs Through Shrugs. I'm Kathy.
I'm Mary, and Hugs Through Shrugs is a knit and crochet charity that supports moms whose lives have been affected by pediatric cancer.
When we send a hug through a shrug, we're wrapping a mom in love and support.
Our last episode, we came to you in December of 2021, and we were in Newport, Rhode Island.
And we're back. As you can see, there's Newport.
So it is February 2022, and it's pretty nice out today. It's almost 50 degrees.
It's beautiful. So we're definitely going to try and go for a walk later.
And maybe get some outside footage like we try to do, but we tend to get distracted. But this is our view from where we're staying right now.
Isn't it beautiful? You can see the harbor and everything. It's an absolutely perfect day. Okay, so in our last episode, we were hoping to share some news with you.
Oh, we did say that. We had exciting news and we were holding back.
Yeah, just in case. And some things don't work out for us.
And it took a while for it to work out.
Yes.
There were a number of weeks where we thought,
we don't have any good news.
Yes, it's a good thing we didn't start to share.
Right.
But perseverance.
We did not quit. We have been working very hard. We also said that we were going to be podcasting. We were going to go on that tour with John.
Oh, that was part of the plan.
It was. And the reason I'm combining these two things is because part of the reason why we couldn't go on the tour where there was singing and it was gorgeous and it was Christmas and
Michelle Brennan from Knitting Needles' husband John gives tours, and that was a holiday tour.
And we couldn't wait. But now we can share our good news. We have had a lot of people contacting us who are interested in our shrugs. And because of the pandemic, it is very difficult for us to increase our volunteer base. We haven't been able to go out to libraries or church groups or knitting stores because it's very limited due to the pandemic.
It's all over the place between who's
masking, not masking,
and businesses closing. There was a Panera where several ladies in our area used to knit. That Panera's gone.
Right.
I don't even know if my local Barnes & Noble is still open. Even the Barnes & Noble here in Rhode Island, you could see they're struggling with inventory. So there's so many things we can't, or nobody really can plan for.
Right.
So what can we do?
How can we meet a greater need if we can't get more volunteers right now? Our current volunteers are working very hard, and we're very grateful for them, but they can only do so much. So we came up with the idea of getting these knitting machines, which were expensive, but thanks to our fundraising efforts, we were able to purchase them. Well, knitting machine. Oh, we're just gonna turn it on.
We went to Michelle and we told her we just got 2 knitting machines and we're gonna just turn them on and learn how to do it or set them up, because they're not electronic, they're manual machines.
Right.
So we are still making every row.
Right.
And Michelle, she used to have a knitting machine.
I love it.
She would make sweaters. They were making sweaters, and so we're thinking, okay, great. We'll go back. We'll set up the machines, do a few rows, and then meet John for the tour.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a few shrugs even made before we meet with John.
We got this.
So, needless to say, we didn't make it to the tour, and it was really difficult. We opened the boxes, and even putting the things together, like you watch the videos, and it's like, oh, whoa! It's like, why isn't this working?
Cat goes.
I can't move it. I wound up bending like 3 needles. Then I had to figure out how to change the needles. And then we took out this bar thing. I couldn't get back in. I wanted to cry. And we were finally at the point where at some point in the night, Mare said, we haven't eaten in like 10 hours.
Water.
So she's like, we have to get out. We have to walk away from this.
We missed the tree lighting.
Plus, we also went to CVS to get tools to try to fix.
God forbid we just treat ourselves to some food.
No. The only reason we allowed ourselves to get some water and food was because we were going to get some tools so I could try and fix my machine.
And CVS is next to the pizza place.
Right. So we went out.
Oh, and multitask, we saw the tree.
We saw the tree like this. Okay, there's a tree. Keep walking, because that was the beautiful tree where they had the carols that we missed out on, and that's fine. Looked lovely. That's fantastic. And then we thought we would go to. We ordered the pizza in person so that way we could go over to CVS, because we can't just do one thing at once. We multitasked. We ran and got the tools that we needed, and thank God they had things. I was using things like tweezers, but they did have a little screwdriver kit, which came in handy.
You did it.
I did. When we went back, we ate, and we were human almost. And for some reason, when we went back, I fixed the machine. And it was like, but now it's like, and now we have to use it. We just wanted to make a swatch.
Like 2 rows. Like, we just want to go whoosh, whoosh, like the ladies in the videos.
Yeah.
Just let us just do 2 rows.
Just something on this machine. So we did that, and then we were like, then we had to take it apart and put it back in the box.
And my machine is still on the floor. We didn't even, I said, you know what, we saw yours
Just
go
share
whoosh,
one.
whoosh. I'll do mine at home. So we
Yeah.
had to then put them back in the box, which is not easy.
At the time. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, you know.
I can't.
This has been several weeks ago since it was around Christmas. Now it's February. So we've had several weeks, and we have not, either of us, quit. And we set them up at home. We know how to set them up, break them down. You know, now we can make them dance. So the next part was coming up with the correct recipe to make a shrug that would be lacy, not lacy, but fluid,
drapey, not too stiff, not too,
right.
You know, something you can wear or use as a blanket.
Right, and with this intention of the knitting machines, when, again, after we had gotten contacted for more shrugs, we had also ordered some new yarn, so that we could make uniform shrugs, because Momcology has certain colors, and Hayden's house has, you know, certain things.
And we have colors.
Yeah, we have colors too. And so we wanted it to kind of tie into what their need was and what you know, our charity. So we had gotten a new yarn, and thank God, with all of the work that we put in, we were able to figure out a recipe or a pattern, or however you want to say it, that works on the machine and creates a really lovely shrug that we'll be proud to send to the moms.
We should show one.
We should. I will go get one.
So some of you know, we have created our own acrylic yarn line. We work with a really good factory who makes us the colors that we like, our Faith, Hope, Courage, and Grace kits that are mostly sold out. We were running out of that yarn. That works great for the knit and crochet by hand kits.
Right. The shrugs we make by hand.
But those yarns were very heavy for the machine. So we worked with a really helpful man who helped us come up with this yarn. Now you could see there's a bit of a sequin.
There's a sparkle in there.
There's a sequin. It's got some tones to it, purple tones. And this goes with both our Faith colors, which is like lilac and gray, and our Hope colors, which is a deeper, like a plum color and brown. Both have purple in it, so this just ties in with both.
Right.
So a lot of our volunteers use some of this with both of those old yarns to help us finish those up. But this is a perfect weight. You wouldn't think it because it's rather thin. We thought for the knitting machine, I really thought Kath was going to have to do 2 strands.
Right.
I was busy doing something else. Kath worked so hard and came to my house, and it's perfect. We are so happy.
Because I had so many failures. I mean, like, it's been weeks of failures until I finally came up with what worked. And it was good because the single strand actually was really nice. So you can see the fabric that it makes.
With the light in the background, it might be a little bit hard, but we'll insert a picture.
Yeah.
So you can really see it. It's such a nice, it's bouncy.
Drapey.
It is warmer than it looks, because I know you guys are seeing the backlight come through, but you could see.
Right.
And you
it's a very nice
sequin.
It'll make a nice blanket in the hospital to cover themselves with, and yet be light enough to be worn as a sweater. So it's really nice, and it does have the beautiful sparkle in it.
It's
and
the
and I
perfect
love
size.
the tones. It has tones of purple.
It's got tones,
which
and
is
Kath
so
made the
pretty.
perfect size. So it's about 30 inches by like 55, which is a nice square. It works for this. And we've talked before about the sizes for the shrugs. If you do Tunisian shrugs for us, we like them more like 57 because they don't stretch as much.
Right.
This just has this like nice little bounce. it does make a great garment or blanket.
Yeah.
So Kath
it's lovely.
and Kath learned how to do buttonholes.
Yeah.
So we because it's a tighter fabric than what we make with the 19 knitting needles, that is easy to poke your laces through. This is tighter. And Kath learned buttonholes, so the moms receiving these can
see how to lace
easily
it.
lace or unlace it because the holes are there. So it's really just like lacing a shoe.
Right, exactly. And then they can just take the laces out to cover themselves up if they want.
So
that
Kath worked very hard.
Yes, that was the news we were hoping to share. We were hoping we couldn't say anything because we'd never used knitting machines. It was extremely intimidating. And
There's no teacher. We ordered
Right.
them from a nice small shop in Indiana. And that's great, but we're in New Jersey, so
Right.
you can't just run over there and ask questions. And we had to figure it out ourselves. And we don't know the lingo. We have our own language for these
Right.
things. We make a mistake. We don't know why because we
Right.
don't know the right way to do things. So that's totally...
Right, and there are a lot of YouTube videos, thank God. But like for me, taking a class online, like there weren't any in-person classes because of COVID. So if I'm going to do a class online, I may as well just watch the video. And it's not the same. Like in person to me is the best. Like that's how I learn best and hands-on. So unfortunately, we just had to learn by trial and error and failing.
Well, just to be able to say to somebody, this is what we want, how do we do
Why
it?
does this happen? Why does this keep happening?
So it took 2 months.
Yeah.
I'd say 2 months.
It
And
did.
Christmas was in there too. But that's a big success.
Yeah,
So we have
did.
tons of this yarn. So we know now there's a couple of places that maybe next month we'll be able to share with you because we know we can crank these out.
Right.
And I think it takes you like 20 minutes to do one.
Yes, yeah. Not only did I learn how to do it, but we can probably from beginning to end, 20 minutes to do the actual piece of material, and then you have the lacing and maybe tucking in the tail. So maybe
it might be
5 minutes,
or maybe 45 in total with the binding off, casting on.
Let's just say you have to bind off the machine.
So you could say we can do one of these in an hour. So if Kath does 2 or 3 a couple times a week, and I'm doing 2 or 3 a couple times a week, that really adds to.
Right, and in addition to the handmade ones, we're also making.
Oh yeah, and we are getting lots. If we were at home, a really nice lady from Stowe, Vermont sent us one. Darn it, if I could remember her name, maybe we can insert it. It
Yes.
depends on how fast we upload this. But we got a couple from Vermont that were perfect. We have ladies like our friend Hope that we've talked about in the past. She sent us a big box of Shrug Snugs. We do
And
have
the ladies at Knitting Needles.
Carol from Knitting
Yeah.
Needles. One of Michelle's customers, Carol, sent us 2 perfect shrugs.
That's been great.
One was done with our yarn, and then she took that pattern and knowledge of what she did, like she knew the fabric after making one. She went and I think she did it with homespun. They were perfect.
Right.
So we are still getting lots of volunteers are sending to the house, but
there's a bigger need than that.
right, we've had a lot of places reach out to us, and what we say is as soon as we could build our volunteer base,
We can reach out.
we put you on our giving list, and we'll be in touch. But it bothers us to know
That somebody wants it and we
Yeah.
can't provide it. Like last year, I think I probably made anywhere, I'm going to say 120 myself. And I was working. I'm not working now. So I retired. This, I can't, if I can make more than 120 this year. But in all honesty, like I could see me having to make or needing to make about 4 times that.
both of us, between the hand
Yeah, each
making
of us.
and then the machine making when we're home, and then the hand making if we're on the road on an airplane. Because now this shrug that Kath just showed you, we're still crocheting laces. So we have mentioned in past episodes, if you want to pitch in, we need laces.
Right.
So keep in mind, we're mass producing in this color.
Right.
So maybe even like silvers or lilacs or grays or something that would go nicely with this color.
Right.
And
And
we didn't measure how long the laces are.
No, probably about
40 inches?
Yeah, about 40 inches. 40 inches.
2
would
laces that
definitely
are
do it.
like 40 inches for the sleeves. And then just this morning, Kath made a lace to tie. The Shrug Snugs won't fit through
Right.
these.
Through these.
So we are hand making crocheted laces that are about 24 inches.
Right, and I'm putting a bead on the end.
And we have little beads that we bought for something else that didn't work, so it's all right.
We'll
find
they
it.
came in handy. So I'm making the laces for the to as a closure, but we still do need shrug snugs because we're still doing tons of handmade shrugs.
And all the handmade ones are done on 19 knitting needles or big Tunisian crochet hooks, which we can say now.
Right.
After we do this video, we're going to finish up our Learn to Tunisian Crochet episode, I guess you'll call it, because it'll be free.
Right.
So if you follow our YouTube channel and you really want to see what this Tunisian crochet that we talk about is all about, the next video we upload will be a free class. We have sold the class in the past. That comes with the hook, comes with practice yarn. We sell a lot of the kits where you could buy a hook at Michelle's, and it comes with the video is really free. It's just
it's the needle.
You're basically just paying for the hook, and we give you a little practice yarn to get you rolling.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so much fun sharing Tunisian crochet with people, and we've done so well selling so much that we just want to put these things out for free.
And people always ask if we do it outside. Knitters aren't familiar, like they see the stitch and they're like, what is that? And crocheters say, what is that? So it's kind of where it's both crochet and knitting together, kind of.
And one of our YouTube videos that is about Tunisian crochet now has over 10,000 views.
Right.
And a lot of those people have emailed us, have gone to the website, learned about us, and emailed us and said, when are you going to teach us how to do a shrug? So we thought, why not?
Yeah.
Why not just share it? Because if we can't expand our volunteer base, like build our community in person, we are building a community here on our YouTube channel.
Right.
So we'll share with you and hopefully, even if you just learn Tunisian crochet to make some things for yourself, that's good. We're good with that.
Right. And, too, if you decide that you want to try and help us in other ways, you can always purchase our yarns at Knitting Needles. She'll ship them out. So it's Knitting Needles in Newport, Rhode Island. What is her address on Thames Street?
555 Thames Street.
So, Michelle has our yarns. We have some on the website. Mare travels quite a bit, so it might take 2 weeks for it to be shipped. But if you want to order one online, you can do that as well from our store. And all of that helps the charity. And again, just the more we make, the more moms we can reach.
Who knows? Maybe someday we'll get another knitting machine. And when we have the volunteers that come to my house, somebody could be working on that machine too. So everything we make does somehow improve how the charities run.
And helps us to satisfy the needs of the different retreats and the people who are asking us for the shrugs to help to make these moms feel like they're not alone. The other thing is, so we're going to be doing some tutorials for people who are interested in Tunisian crochet. And, so another thing we thought, I had done a wrap where I added beads to the Tunisian crochet. So that's another class we're going to add where, if you want to use Tunisian crochet and kind of fancy something up, how you would add beads when you're Tunisian crocheting.
Yeah, and then we also have two other off the top of our heads. One is Tunisian crochet increases and decreases.
Yeah.
So, some people have bought our Breezy Hug patterns. We have a Breezy Hug triangle shawl. In both our Gilded Age yarns, we offered the pattern, and in some of our Shrug Hug yarns. Now, our Shrug Hug yarns will still be at New Jersey Sheep and Wool, but we're really enjoying our Gilded Age dyeing.
Yeah.
And those yarns are always in Michelle's shop.
Right.
And she is working on an online store. She is putting all of her inventory into a system. But if anybody wants any of our Gilded Age yarns now, just call Michelle's shop. She's on Facebook, Knitting Needles, and the phone number's there. I don't have the phone number handy, but maybe I could insert it on the screen here. Call Michelle's shop, and she is happy to ship yarn out to people.
Right, and some of our Shrug Hug yarns you can get on our website, and we'll ship them out to you if you want one of those. We'll send them out as soon as we can until they're gone, which we've been doing some festivals and things. We did one since COVID kind of eased up the restrictions, and that was we did really well there. So that helped us to get the knitting machines and the yarn.
And we're here in Rhode Island a lot until June. So when I go home, I'll ship orders, and when I'm here, you could find us a lot of the time in Michelle's store or Cutie Curls. They have our yarns too.
Right. And another thing, also the fundraising. We dye the Gilded Age yarns, and we have some of the Shrug Hug yarns still left. And that's one way that we raise money so that we can continue reaching new moms. You know, we have to do the fundraising, and as you know, we dyed. That's why we dyed the Gilded Age yarns to help us to support the charity. You have to have funds. So, but not everybody crochets and not everybody knits. So we were thinking, well, how could we reach people who don't do that? So Mira came up with our shawl line.
So now that we know how to use these knitting machines, we are cranking out shawls,
Right.
but also using the Gilded Age colors and the same cards. If you're new and don't know about our Gilded Age yarns, we introduced them in our July 2021 episode. Mm-hmm. So you could see each one. But our shawls all represent the Gilded Age mansions. Do we have all of them here, Kath? We're
5.
Missing just Jackie. So we're missing one. Is that Marble House?
No,
that's just Jackie?
It's very bright in this room.
Okay.
So 5, right? We have...
Well, we have Belcourt, which, like our yarns, and I hope to see the background. We don't want to hold it up too much because then you're going to see right through it. But Belcourt is light blues and a little bit of gold. And you can see in the fringe, there's just light blue and a little bit of gold, which represents I think they call it the music room. There's a room in Belcourt that honors Carolyn Raphalian, who's the new owner, and she's restoring Belcourt. And it's a beautiful room with light blue walls, and her monogram is stamped on the walls, just subtle monogram stamps, and you don't even notice it at first until the sun is hitting it.
Right.
But that's when you could see her monogram. So we thought that room was so awesome, and that's where we came up with the Belcourt colors.
Love that one.
Then we have the Elms, of course.
Actually,
that's what we're missing.
Missing the Elms.
Okay, we'll get the Elms.
Yeah.
But Rough Point, I saw the green, and right away I thought. So Rough Point, and again,
Here, keep it folded in half.
Maybe that'll be better, right? Rough Point sits at the end of Bellevue, and it's surrounded by sky and water, and then the house itself is a beautiful brown mansion, and then you have the cliff walk around it. The cliff walk wraps around Rough Point. So that was our color inspiration, and we honor the strong women behind the mansions.
Right.
I know that we talked about this in July, and I don't want to be redundant, but if it's your first time, Belcourt was built by Alva Vanderbilt's husband. He built it before they got married, but we honor Alva, then Harley Tinney, who lived there with the Tinney family. She married Donald Tinney in like the 50s. She was the longest resident of Belcourt, and Carolyn Raphalian bought Belcourt from Harley Tinney in 2012, I think it is, and she's restoring it. So we tell a little story in the cards about the strong women behind the mansions. So we say strong women from the past honoring brave moms today.
Right.
And that honors those 3 women. Rough Point honors Doris Duke, who lived there and then donated the house to the Newport Restoration Foundation, who have done beautiful things, not only keeping Rough Point operating and it's open for tours and whatnot. They have jazz on the lawn and yoga classes on the lawn, and they restore many of the old colonial homes in Newport. A lot of that information's in Doris Duke's card that comes with this. Then we have Marble House.
Right. This one we did not fringe yet.
Yeah,
we're still in the process
of
fringing
here,
putting them together.
So, but these are the colors. In Alva's bedroom, we honor Alva Vanderbilt, and the color inspiration was Alva's bedroom. And then the Breakers honors Alice Vanderbilt, and the colors she chose for the family crest, and it's a color seen throughout the Breakers.
Oh yeah.
Which is maroons and golds. So that's in this one.
So you just have to see that fringe stuff.
Oh, and then
it really looks.
And we still have to trim the fringe. So I mean, we are working on these
everything's
right
in
here.
the process.
And then this is Just Jackie.
I'm gonna go grab the green one.
Now this does not honor a mansion. There's not a mansion here that's open for public tours, but Jackie Kennedy played a big part in Newport. Not only did she spend summers here since she was 13 years old, she got married. She married John F. Kennedy here in Newport at St. Mary's Church. And Doris Duke asked Jackie to be on her committee for restoring the colonial homes, and Jackie was always here. The color inspiration for this colorway is the bouquet of flowers that Jackie held on her wedding day. And when we first created our Gilded Age yarns, this was not included. But when we were asked to be part of one of the Knit and Escape virtual events, we came up with a special color that we added. So just Jackie we have now.
So we have that. And our last one
is the Elms. So the Elms is one of the only mansions here. I mean, Belcourt is across the street from the water. Most of them are on the ocean. The Elms sits kind of in the middle. It doesn't have any water around it. It's just surrounded by beautiful elm trees and greenery. The gardens of the Elms are really beautiful. And our color inspiration was the property and the conservatory, which is it's an indoor room that you feel like you're outside. They have a stone fountain in there and huge windows that just look out at the property. And
I love that room.
It feels like a patio,
Yeah.
They have mirrors on the walls that are not windows, and the other walls all have these big windows, and it just reflects all this light, and you really feel like you're sitting outside, even though you're inside. And that was our Elms. And the
Elms
is
also going to have fringe on it when it's finished.
Oh, yeah. But the Elms, we honored Julia Berwind, who lived there until she passed away, I believe, in the 60s. I think that she was still being a Newport hostess, having all the parties, and she really carried on the tradition of the Gilded Age women throughout the 60s. She was one of the last Gilded Age ladies to still live that sort of a lifestyle, with a few servants who were still in the home and that. So that's our new fundraiser, and we are going to be bringing these shawls soon to some boutiques here for a different way to raise some money.
Right. So we're excited about that, and that's also new. And I'm just trying to think. I think that wraps everything up as far as everything new that we have going on and what we were looking forward to, and some of the things we alluded to in the last episode that actually worked out. so happy.
And who knew with the shawls? Once we got familiar with the machines, we used the same base that we use in our Gilded Age yarn on the knitting machine. And we're hand making the shawls that are very substantial. You can use it either as a shawl, this one doesn't have the fringe, or a scarf. So I mean, they're really quite usable. And we're making the shawls, and then we're dyeing the shawls, and then we're dyeing the yarn that we use for the fringe, and then we fringe them by hand. And
so everything's hand dyed, handmade.
Yeah, so there's a lot of work that goes into them, and hopefully that'll be another way to reach outside of the crafty maker community, to raise some money.
Because we do get approached by people who say, well, how can I help? They could purchase a shawl. I mean, of course, people can just make a financial donation, but this is just another way of raising some money so that we can continue the charity.
Yeah, and we stay very busy.
We do.
All right, Kath, so I guess that wraps up all the updates we have for now.
It does.
If you don't already subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe and click on the notifications, and then you'll see when all of our new Tunisian crochet videos are uploaded.
Right.
Check them out.
All right, everyone, take care.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.